Okay, so how you saying it seems more wholesome and more like for uplifting and encouraging, then you got some I've seen personally and just out on close on social media, it's toxic. So like,
it's probably the white feminists, honestly.
You think so?
Yeah, it's probably.
I seen some light skin color like with it though. Really? What's good, y'all? We back with another episode of the Diallo Podcast. I'm your host, Rilla, and today I got a special guest. If y'all haven't tapped into the episode of From the Block, it was a very dope conversation. But today we have the host of From the Block, Malika. Tell the folks what's up, girl.
Hi. What's up?
What's going on? How you feeling?
I feel good. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
For sure. Thank you for coming on. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry for being late.
Oh, no, that's all good. You know I owed you one. You know what I'm saying? But so we're kind of just going to talk to you about like your whole process of just starting that podcast. Because you were doing podcasts like before I was, and for many of my people that I know are doing them. So like what brought you to the podcast world? Like, yeah.
Okay, so I went to Georgia State, and they have a whole creative space at Georgia State called the CMI building. So I was in there, and then they have a podcast room. It's a pretty basic setup, but it gets the job done. So I was just looking in the room, and I was like, okay, I want to do something like this. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I started it my senior year, and yeah.
Really?
It's the basic story.
So you wasn't like nervous like about like just, having like conversation with people, like, or did you know like the scope of the guest you was gonna have? Or you just kind of just.
Okay, so a little backstory for that one.
For sure.
Okay, so it was this guy that I have met, and he was an intern for the radio station here in Atlanta, iHeartRadio. So we were supposed to. He got a podcast deal. And I was like, oh shit, like that's like, like I want to do something like that too. So we were supposed to work on that together, but then things have fell through. He was acting like really weird. So then I was like, okay, bet, like I don't need this. So he had the radio station back in, so he was getting like guests, like the mayor, Jada Waiter, like all them people. Yeah, so then I was like, okay, well, I'm just do this by myself. F it. So how it started out, right? Georgia State, that's in the heart of Atlanta.
It is. Yeah.
So it actually wasn't that hard getting guests. Like I'm telling you, I could just step outside and I would see somebody. My target in the beginning, I was like, okay, I could get up and coming rappers with a buzz, or how do I say this? I could get people that I'm trying to see, how do I say this? People that like, if I have a conversation, I'm like, oh, you remember so-and-so from like back in the day? Okay, I feel like that's a proper term. Okay, I don't want to be disrespectful. But yeah, like those type of people.
What term would you thinking of?
I don't want to say it. It's kind of disrespectful.
Really?
Or just like folks that, like back then, it's like, oh yeah, I know so-and-so. And if I ask you now, they're like, oh, so-and-so, yeah.
Okay, I'm tracking a little bit.
The term is has been. But like that's kind of disrespectful, but it is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So then after that, I was just like, okay, yeah, I can do this for real because it was working. So
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Like, would you face any type of like obstacles going through like just starting like just finding space and like?
Well, finding the space, because at Georgia State, the studio, right, already had the mics, they had the video cameras. The only thing that I had to do, I had to work as the videographer, the engineer, but I hired someone for editing because I don't edit videos. I mean, I can if I wanted to, but that's just too much work, and I just don't want to do that. So, I made sure everything was like student based. So again. Yeah, everything was student based. So like that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like that difficult because like I said, it's Georgia State. It's hella creatives over there. So
Yeah. So like the space that we was at, that was
no, that came way after.
Oh, okay. So like to tell us that story.
That was
Like, yeah.
what I just said. That was October 2021.
Oh, okay.
When I was a senior at Georgia State.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. For a little background story, I met Malika at Georgia Gwinnett College, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't think you weren't into the podcasting then, was you at all? Like, were you into that?
No, but I was hosting creative events in the student center. So that's kind of like what let me know, like, okay, I want to be a creative, because the goal after undergrad, I was either going to go to law school, med school, or work in corporate. But my first law internship, I was good at it, but I was like, I don't want to do this. So I was like, how can I be a creative and make money? So
boom.
Yeah.
All right, for sure. Okay. So the studio that we was at, that was a nice studio. I actually liked that space a lot.
I liked it too.
It was dope. Yeah. So like, what was that story like to get there in that space?
That was
if you feel like getting into it, you know what I'm saying? Actually, now you gotta get into it. You must.
Okay, so I graduated Georgia State December of 2021.
Okay.
But I was still able to kind of like finesse and maneuver my way at that Georgia State studio. So I had used that studio for the spring semester. So that was spring 2022, although I wasn't a student. But during the summer, right? School is out for the summer. The studio is closed. But, I still have a show to film. And on top of that, equipment, right? Which, you gotta pay for. You have to get that stuff. So, I came up with a plan, first of all. So thanks to my parents for, teaching me about business and credit. I have really amazing credit. So my plan, right? I'm like, okay, I can just buy the equipment, right? Because I have a business bank account, so I can use the credit on the business bank account and buy the equipment, right?
Dropping gems. Okay,
and then wait, hold on now, because it didn't work out that way. I was like, okay, I can just buy the equipment with my business credit, and then I can just find a studio in Atlanta for the summer. And then I was just sitting with myself and I was like, wait a minute, do I really want to really want to do this? Because if I was like, okay, in Georgia State, right, for fall of 2022 when school's in session and I use the studio again, I'm gonna have all this equipment that I'm not even using. And credit, like, yeah, it's good, but it's still money that you have to pay back. So I was like, wait a minute, let me think. Now, Georgia State has a building called Adderhold, and any type of camera, audio mics, anything that you need to start a podcast, they have it there for free. You just have to check it out.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, bet I could just do that weekly and I could save my money.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
So I found a studio in Atlanta and I was like, okay, yeah, this is my dream studio. Which, sidebar, if you ever are looking for places, right, to book and you see a lot of celebrities there, that's a red flag. Just don't do it. No, it's overpriced, overrated, and they only cater to celebrities. Us regular folks, they finna treat you like ants. So I was gonna go into business with my friend, and then I had everything booked up, right, for the studio. I had already checked out there's a limit on the amount of equipment you can check out. So I had already checked out my equipment, and then my friend was going to check out the other one. We're going to film. Bam. That fell through because he didn't check it out, and my film date was the next day. Yeah, I know.
I know you were pissed off at him.
Yeah, I was. So I was like, damn, like, am I really supposed to be doing this? Like, what is life right now? So then my mom always told me, right, that when something is for you, yes, you'll have to put in work, but when it's like for you, it's for you. Like, it's just going to come to you. So I said, okay, if I'm going to do this podcast thing, like, I got to do it right. Oh, and then my videographer, right, that I hired, he had quit on me as well. So I was like, okay, I really don't have anything at this moment. So I'm like, okay, pause. But if I'm going to do this, like, I want it to look neat. I want it to be done right. Like, it's going to be lit. So I went on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I looked up different videographers in the city of Atlanta. I hit up so many people. I was given the runaround by so many people. Then I came across my, own videographer now, Jay. He hit me up, and it took him like 2 days to respond. So I was like, hey, like, we're doing this or not, let me know. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. Okay, boom. We filmed at the studio space that I had picked out over the summer, and that was like terrible. Like, it was not a good experience at all. So then I was driving around, right, and I was looking for different studios to film at. I was utilizing social media. I've toured different studios, and I just wasn't like I just wasn't feeling it. So then my videographer was like, just use Peerspace. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
and then he was like, oh yeah, you can get like almost anything on Peerspace. So then the studio that I film on now, it took a long time to find them, but I found them on Peerspace, and then
that's dope.
although like we've only known each other for a year, but it's really crazy because like when we all like interact with each other, it feels like we've known each other for longer. So it's like
It's all divine though.
It was all meant to be.
That's dope. That's dope. I like that. Like the key factor and all that though was like you just never like gave up though. Cause that's some crazy shit. Folk to quit on you like days before, like right. You know what I'm saying? That's that's the wildest shit. So, like just a sidebar, like when that happened, like was it like so you didn't want to quit though, but did you actually?
Oh no, I did.
You did. Oh, okay,
but I got over it.
You got over it though.
I'm kind of emotional, but like I'm also rational in a way. It's the best of both worlds.
Emotional and rational.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. I almost don't believe you, to be honest.
Huh?
I almost don't believe you, cause girls, my experience with women don't be like that.
Oh, really like emotional?
Yeah,
no,
really
and it's crazy
emotional.
because I had talked about this the other day on my show too. I think because like I'm a second generation African child, so like our parents, whenever, so like for a lot of African kids, right, whenever we would show emotions growing up, like, oh my god, like I want to cry and da, they'll be like, snap out of it, like what the hell is wrong with you? So like I didn't really get that space growing up to like be like super over dramatic and emotional and da, because it was just like, all right, snap out of it, like come on, we got other stuff to focus on, like what are you crying for?
Wow.
So like now, like I can be emotional a little bit, but like I snap out of it so fast. So yeah.
Do you like that, or you just do you wish you could be a little more emotional?
No, I think it's a good trait to have.
Okay,
Because
good.
life goes on at the end of the day.
No, for sure, absolutely.
So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you have built From the Block, it's an amazing podcast. You know, had some crazy guests on there, including me and Gates. You know what I'm saying? It was fun. So with all that being said, I know you mentioned to me earlier that you was in graduate school, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So graduate school, podcast. I'm pretty sure you got your own personal life that you want to attend to. Like, do you do any self-care?
Oh yeah, of course.
What does that look like for you? Self-care?
So here's the thing. I work hard, but I really understand what balance is and how it works. So if I feel overwhelmed, I'm finna go to sleep. Or like I'm gonna give me something to eat, or I'm gonna just do something to relax. So like I work hard, but like I still have my own life.
Yeah, so like, all right, so basically, okay, you said that if you feeling tired, you're gonna go to sleep. So I know some people like, they be like, I gotta get this done, so they won't get no sleep. You not going to that level.
No, hell no. Because I was like that in undergrad. And then at the end, like, what did it leave me with? Yeah, I have a degree, but then I also, like, my mental health took a toll. Because it was just work. I have to get this done. I have a scholarship. I can't let my parents down. So after that, I was like, hell no, I'm never doing that shit again. So, yeah, I do what I want.
Heard that.
But I still get the work done, though. But I just still do what I want.
Yeah, okay. Everybody live by that. Do what you want. And work hard, but do what you want at the same time. For sure. I struggle with that a little bit. My thing was just like, I don't know, it's like I be feeling irritated when I go to sleep. Like for something, like say if I something I need to get done, but I'm learning more so to just be like my self-care probably look like me just going and I don't know, getting something to eat, like how you said, get something I really want to eat, I'll go get it or something like that. Yeah, massage. So
the work will get done tomorrow, and I'm gonna make sure I get it done.
Heard that shit. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to ask you. So you had a lot of like cool guests going there. You have any like you have a top 3 like dream guests that you want on your show? Like just anybody that you can have anybody come on your show. Top 3.
So
dead or alive. Who would it be?
Okay, so the thing with that, right? So there was a time I actually just recently got over it. I've had really dope people on my show, and I love telling their stories. However, of course, you want the top hip hop artists, R&B artists, actors, right?
Yeah.
So one thing I learned so far in this business, dealing with celebrities, they're a different type of people. For sure. They're very...
Oh, actually, I do got a question for you. One of your guests, too, that I've seen on there.
Which one?
I'm going to tell you about it after you finish.
Oh, yeah. Celebrities are very different. Now, like, there's some instances, right, where, you know, you'll find somebody and they're like, yeah, like, I'm down, I support it, like, I like what you're doing. But that's very rare. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's very rare. Most of the times, right, when you get in contact with celebrities, they either want you to pay them, right, a hefty price, or it has to benefit. Like, if it's not benefiting them, they're just gonna like scroll right past you. Like, I actually had somebody, right, where like I was just so hell bent on getting them. Like, I got in contact with their management team. Like, it was like, I'm like, this is mine. And then when it fell through, I was like, damn. But when you're doing something like this, right, you have to look at it from a business standpoint, and then you have to look at it from a, like, what purpose am I giving people? So that's the two things that you have to come in mind. So to answer your question, okay, top 3 people, I would love to interview Nikki, I would love to interview Megan, and I would love to interview J. Cole. And then in terms of like dead people, definitely Young Dolph, Nipsey, and
I had a feeling you gonna say Nipsey.
yeah, who else? I like Michael Jackson a lot. Yeah, but yeah, I had to get myself out that mindset of, okay, I want to hustle so hard, right, and I want to get these celebrities. I recently just like got that out my brain, because I'm like, what's more meaningful, what's more beneficial, and what leaves more value to people is just hearing just things that they can resonate to, you know, hearing the energy from the quote unquote regular folks. And I hate using the term regular because we are just people at the end of the day, but like just non-celebrities, like hearing their stories, hearing their struggles, that's what leaves the biggest impact on people. And that's like my job, to tell their stories. So yeah, I feel like that was a long answer to your question, but yeah.
No, we appreciate that though. Okay, so that do you want to name drop that celebrity who what they fell through, or you?
Maybe later.
Maybe later. I heard that. All right. So you I seen you had an interview with Calico Jones.
Oh yeah.
Man, that was crazy. Like, I was like, damn, cause I was doing, doing my research. I'm like, damn, she had an interview with him. So like, what was that process like? How'd you get tapped in with him?
Yeah, so like I just DM, not just email people. I didn't even expect him to respond for real, but when his team responded, they were like, yeah, like we'll do it, because he wants to be around, different media outlets, different people that bring like clean energy, like it's not asking nonsense questions and incriminating questions, and
for sure.
people just like smoking blunts everywhere, and it's just like, like you want more like a cleaner.
He wanted to
vibe,
Yeah, it's a word for it, but
yeah.
Clean up the image or whatever.
No, not even clean up the image. Okay. You just want to be around just like cool energy. Like you don't want to be around, like imagine if you get the opportunity to interview with someone on Good Morning America versus, a podcast where it's just gonna be like smoke everywhere and they finna ask you, so when you were in that gang a couple years ago, how did you, like, nobody wants to be around that.
Nah, for sure. It's definitely, especially like if you're trying to grow out of it too.
Yeah, like nobody wants to be around that. But no, he was really cool. Like I wasn't expecting that at all.
He seemed like the conversation, like y'all was really vibing on that.
Yeah, no, he was really cool. I like him a lot. He cool.
That's dope. Okay. So, let's switch up a little bit. So when we was on your show, me and Gates, you asked us about toxic hustle culture. Though with like two sides of hustle culture. So I'm gonna ask you the two sides of feminism. I am not a woman, so I can't speak on this, but just your take on that. What's your take on feminism?
Well, okay, so the thing with feminism, so I identify as a Black feminist. So what that is, right? So with the creation of the feminism movement, right, it wasn't inclusive. Like, so basically if you were white, you were part of it, but if you were Black, they were like, who are you? Why are you here? Like Susan B. Anthony said, I would rather cut my hand off than let a Black woman into the movement. So that's why a group of really like powerful Black women, and I can't think of their names right now, but they created the Black feminism movement. So basically creating that support, creating that sisterhood for Black women, right? Catering to Black women needs, being there for other Black women. So that's what I, identify with. So in terms of like, what do I think about it? I mean, in terms of the Black feminism movement, I feel like sisterhood is really important. I feel like I don't really have any issues with it.
Yeah, no. I'm not looking for issue. I just want to know like your take on it, because okay, so how you saying it seems more wholesome and more like for uplifting and encouraging, then you got some I've seen personally and just out on course of social media, it's toxic. So like,
It's probably the white feminists, honestly.
You think so?
Probably.
I seen some of our skin color like with it though. Real
Wait, so what did you see that was toxic?
Just like they use, so they say that feminism basically have them on this, they'll put women at this pedestal, which is fine, but then they also saying like, step on y'all niggas too though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hate men. I wish you all would die.
That. But like, so it's like that, and then so how I got toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
The ones that constantly bad like women.
Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? Okay.
I feel like certain women, it just takes a certain level of maturity to have a rational mind in terms of how you decide to view men, and in terms of how you decide to view women.
Okay.
I feel like, of course, and like, let me not say demographics, but almost everything in life is subjective. So of course, right, if you have women where they've had terrible experience with men, right, and they haven't been exposed to, decent, right,
men, for sure.
Of course you're gonna have a certain mindset, and then of course, like on Twitter, like I don't take anything serious on Twitter. It's just strictly for entertainment. Okay. So I don't think if you see like a whole bunch of women bashing men, I wouldn't like take that to heart. Because a lot of it is just for trolling and for like entertainment. Plus, you can get paid now too on Twitter. Like if you have a lot of engagement.
Oh really?
Yeah, so, with your tweets.
And if you say a lot of stupid shit on Twitter, you do get a lot of okay,
So that's what's getting pushed. I hope I answered your question. I don't know if I did.
Yeah, no. I mean, you gave me something.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
What was the question again?
It was what's your take on feminism? And now I said, do you believe that there is toxic feminism? And I think you did. I think you gave them like a way out though, at the same time.
Yeah. I feel like there can be. There can be, but I just feel like it just depends on what you decide to take in and what you decide to be like. I don't know about that. So it's subjective for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a safe answer. We're gonna take that one. I might have to ask you when the camera go off what you really think, but
that's
okay.
funny.
Okay. So, what's next for Malika? What's next for you? Like, what is you got anything bigger planned? Like from the Block podcast? Anything?
Yeah, I think really just building that community.
Okay.
I think just continuing to tell stories, and I think just really engaging with those that really support the brand, and engaging with those who just have a story that needs to be told. So yeah,
for sure. Okay, I want to go firsthand and just say I'm proud of you and what you're doing. For sure. It was actually a really, really fun time coming on your podcast. That was my second time being on an actual like podcast too. Like, so like that wasn't just something that I'm in like control, not control of, but like in my proximity. So it was fun. I'm proud of you. I pray for more success for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is really dope too. Like the setup, everything. Like you did a really good job.
Thank you, for sure. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, tell them where they can reach you, Instagram, social media, whatever.
Yes, you can follow the podcast at From the Block Podcast on all social media platforms at From the Block Podcast, and then you can follow me on Instagram at _Malika MALIKANOAH. So yeah, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at From the Block Podcast. And yeah.
For sure. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do the outro, you feel me? All right, y'all. Y'all can reach me on all social platforms at Who Is Realer. You can also reach the podcast at Don Diallo TV. Brought to you by Gate7 Studios. I'm your host, Big Realer, and this is the Don Diallo Podcast, and we are